They lost some injuries. Herbert went limping out the game. I don't know if he's going to play this week as well. We will see as well. Lost some injuries. I think Derwin James has gotten himself suspended. So the little depth of roster. I wasn't impressed with Pittsburgh though. I mean, defensively they're really good, but offensive, I don't see it. I mean, they're. I don't think they're the good news is I don't think they're going to go against a lot of good offenses, but a team with good offense, if they can get some offense on them, they're not going to score enough points. I don't think. But Jacksonville's got real problems. Trevor Lawrence is clearly regressing. That was really bad against Buffalo. They're 0-3. I think they're having some problems protecting, but that was bad. I think Buffalo was totally dominant in that game. Their Chefs won again, another close win. Atlanta, I'm not too down on again. I don't think this year is their year, but I think they're kind of getting there. They'll win some games, but the Chefs, they just seem to know how to win these games. I think the Rams probably had a season-saving win as well. I think that was probably why when you can win a game like that, especially with all the injuries you have, you got no receivers. I think the defense is what it is. They kind of like find a way on defense, even though they don't have a lot of no names, whatever. So Rams kind of actually go ahead and find their way as well. And Seattle, I think, really did their business against Miami. Miami with all types of problems. They're going to be starting Tyler Huntley, I think, going forward. Yeah, yeah. So that's interesting there. The Saints and the Falcons. So the Falcons now, I think, are at 1-2. I think the Saints are 2-1, even though they lost last week. Saints, I think, have been scoring a lot of points the first few weeks. They had some injuries now, though. They got Eric McCoy on the front that is injured. They're really good center. Their offensive line has a lot of issues. Kamara has been struggling, I think, a little bit more. David Carr's been really good. Derek Carr's been really good. I think Derek Carr, I think, should be, in my opinion, a top 10 quarterback, but for some reason, he's just not consistent enough to do that. Defensively, I think they're still pretty good. The Falcons, I think, are getting there, and I think they win this game. I think they're going to win some of these games. I think Cousins, they really played a close game against the Chefs. I think the talent is really there. I really like their group of safeties. Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates, I think, is a really good duo there as well. Their pass rush, their defense, they're getting there. I think they might sneak into the playoffs, and I think they win this game. I think big division game. I think I like the Falcons in there. Probably the biggest surprise in the league here so far, the Vikings, and they go into Green Bay against the Packers. I'm not sure if Jordan Love is playing this game or not. They have done very well with Malik Willis at the helm. I'm going to say this. Matt LaFleur, the job he's done has been very, very impressive. When you talk about a Matt LaFleur. He's down. I'm putting now in the category with him where his offenses put up points no matter who's under center, who the trigger is. Kind of like a Andy Reid or a Bill Walsh or Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan. I was seeing that. He's getting his offenses are getting production regardless of the circumstances. So that's a big thing as well. It's hard to not appreciate what the Vikings have done here so far. Sam Darnold has been outstanding at the start as well. Their defense has been good. Their defense, they're getting a lot of sacks. Their pass rush has been good. I think that was what was lacking for them last year when they lost Mike Zimmer as head coach. They're really getting home on defense. So interesting to see if they can keep that up. I don't think offensively they're going to continue to score this many points. I know. I definitely like the Packers in Green Bay. Well, that's always a safe bet. I think Lambeau, is probably it's not quite cold yet there, but I think that's one of the toughest play. Pretty close matchup, and I think I'm gonna say Green Bay at home should win. Eagles and the Bucks. You know what? These two teams are more similar than what you think they are. They're what people think they are. I think there's a lot of similarities with these two teams. Eagles are kind of are what they are. Their offensive team, I think they have a lot of good pieces on offense. They're not going to have AJ Brown, so it definitely looked different without him. They can win without him. I mean, they have a lot of good other stuff there. Devontae Smith is still there. Saquon Barkley is outstanding. I think their offensive line is good. But the Eagles kind of know what they are on offense. Defensively, they still have a ways to go as well. Their front is not as good as it should be. Jalen Carter's kind of acting silly on the sideline. Jordan Davis and them, they got to get moving. Secondary is still kind of young as well. Uh, Bucks, I they're actually not that different. They're actually, believe it or not that different. Kind of a good offensive team that's physical on offense, and they kind of score. They definitely score points. Pretty impressive beating Detroit last week. Pretty impressive. I think the Eagles have a better team by the hair. I think it'll be very close. I wouldn't bet money on this game, but I'm definitely taking the Eagles. I think the Eagles win by like a field goal here as well. I think they also too seem to have a knack to win these close games, so that's why I like the Eagles in this one. The Chefs against the Chargers last week. This week, I think the Chargers. This is a big division game. The first time that Jim Harbaugh is going to see the Chefs here, so definitely keep that in mind watching this game. First time Jim Harbaugh, massive coaching upgrade as well last week. I don't think the Chefs look bad. I don't think the Chargers looked that bad in the loss last week. Honestly, I I don't think they looked that bad in the loss last week. Honestly, I think they played a good team. I don't know if Herbert is going to play in this one. I know he's trying to play. His injury is serious. I don't know if he makes it through the whole season as well. They definitely going to need Herbert to win. I like the Chargers for what they are, though. Um, I think the Chargers are the Ravens West. They know exactly what they are. J.K. Dobbins off to a great start. Line is actually blocking for them very well. Defensively, they're much better, even than I could have Derrick James. Have some injuries. That's a concern. I think I'd actually pick the Chargers in this one had it not been for that. But I don't know if you're going to beat the Chefs without Justin Herbert. I would say this. Chefs have not looked great despite 3 wins. They've kind of had 3 very close wins, like very close to the vest here. So I think they maybe do lose one, but I don't think the Chargers have enough firepower to beat them. I think this might be the best game of the weekend here when you got the Seahawks 3-0 against the Lions that are 2-1. I think the Seahawks have been terrific here so far. That defense looks a lot better. Kind of like we talked about the massive coaching upgrade in I just said San Diego, the massive coaching upgrade in Los Angeles. The massive there's a big upgrade here as far as defense, as far as the Seahawks. Seahawks defense looks great. Geno Smith has been solid here at the start. I think he's looked better in the first 3 games than he did like most of last year. I thought he was solid. He completes a lot of his passes. DK Metcalf is there. They're definitely going to run the ball. There's a physicality there. This time, this is buckle your chin strap here. I think the Lions are the Lions. I think they got to do what they do. Hit people in the mouth, run the football on both sides. Aiden Hutchinson's it's off to a terrific start. I think they do win this game, hand the Seahawks their first loss. Although, again, very close. I like maybe 3 points. I like the Lions in this one. There you go. Big five biggest games on the that are not Raven games. So definitely check